I'm here with Georg Hodek, founder and owner of Isifa Image Service in Czech Republic and Slovakia. I'm just going to go over some things of the day and why he's chosen to come here for another year. So hello, Georg, first of all.
Hello, Marco. Good to see you.
You too, you too. And well, let us start by something that happened today, the YouTube seminar. We just came out of that. We watched it, you watched it. Any first impressions you want to share with us about that?
First impressions about the YouTube seminar. What you can hear a lot this festival in general, and the YouTube was also about, is about content, relevant content. It's about, you know, brands owning media, running media, like the L'Oreal guy said. We're opening a channel, we're doing a channel. We have even other brands' content on the channel, so that was quite interesting to hear that they were not doing it all exclusive, but by trying to be authentic and understandable and readable and believable to their customers and target groups, to the consumer, to the people. So they allow also other content in it. That was quite new. The wise guys are cool. And so what can we as a picture agency, footage agency, you know, do with this information? And I think maybe we should start think about stuff and get rid of the word picture and footage and think about content and really think about content which is relevant and find a way where we can use our core competences and help our customers, the media, the brands. They're looking for content and maybe for a bit of different content than we are used to offer so far.
Okay, and that kind of brings us to, you know, Cannes in general. I know you've been a regular visitor here. You're one of the few people from the photography industry or the content industry, well, photography and video industry, that's a regular visitor here. We'll touch on one of the reasons, the Young Lions, a little bit later. But you also visit the seminars quite a bit. What over the years, what are you trying to get out of being in Cannes?
Look, I came to Cannes actually the first time in 2008, and it was in a year when, you know, things started to change and business changed a lot. And I was really like, okay, I actually don't know what's going on. And I heard about the Cannes many times before. I finally came, and it was a bit of a revelation. And so I'm coming here to understand what's going on in the communications industry, to understand what are the needs, what is the development, so we can adopt and be helpful and, you know, maybe even transform into a new business, add new skills, because otherwise I felt it's too isolated. So for me, it makes a lot of sense being here. I learn a lot. I'm able to speak to people. Also, I'm meeting here customers, and, you know, being here on the Côte d'Azur, you can talk to them in a completely different way. Like when you go back home, and always there's like the sense of we are doing business. No, we're here. We're sharing this space. We're sharing this event. We exchange thoughts and how everybody perceives and what he thinks and what they're doing. And so it's a great place for networking and learning. Yes.
Okay, great. And Young Lions, one of the reasons you're here with a team of Young Lions. Can you explain a little bit about that and how that works for you?
Isifa is, by the way, also the official representative for the Cannes Lions Advertising Festival for Slovakia. So what we're doing every year, we're organizing national contests in various categories. This year it's cyber and design, which is a new category. And so what is the task? You know, we're doing a national contest to choose the best team of young creatives, young marketeers up to the age of 28, whom we send over here to Cannes to compete in the international contest. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
How are they doing so far? Already some prizes awarded or not yet?
Like our two teams, we will know more tomorrow. Our Czech colleagues, I got just the information they won gold in media, which is a huge success. It's actually the second time. Last year they won in the same category again, so that's super. And I think Renee, who is heading the representation for the Czech Republic, will have to pay a couple of drinks tonight.
Great. Hey, and no, congratulations, by the way. That's really good result. And in terms of the learnings that you're getting for your business and perhaps for the industry in general, you've been here for quite a few years now. Right now, how do you see those being applied? With all the change going on, is there anything practical you're seeing or any long-term trends as it applies to content, video, stills, whatever it is?
Um, 2 days ago, I was on a dinner with the CEO of one of the largest advertising agencies in our territory, and we were talking, how is business, how's going on? And he was like, oh, okay, it's changing and everything. And I was like, yeah, you're not buying enough pictures from us. And he was like, George, stay cool. I think it's temporary. But you're in the content business, and it's about content. So I believe you're actually looking to a great future. So that was quite soothing to hear from one of our customers. Learning, application, I think all is in transition so far. It's not easy for us to apply. We will have to acquire new skill sets. I got a couple of ideas what to do. Because really the brands need content. I use this phrase. A lot of brands acquired a Facebook site, a website. They have now Twitter, well, let's say Facebook, YouTube. What they're starting to realize is they become media owners. And so maybe a service which we're used to provide to media, we could provide, but I think we have to adopt it a bit, actually to the brands to help them to cope with the new roles of running a media. And I think that was also very much in the YouTube session today. It's generating relevant content, engaging content, and it's not easy if you have to fill a beast, a media which needs a lot of food every day, 24 hours, fresh. And this is what we're actually doing for many years, for example, in the editorial segment.
Do you see, when you talk about content, do you see that go beyond the kind of the three main elements: photography, video, and music? Do you even see that go beyond that, or are those still the three main content licensing types?
I think it will be more maybe about combining content. What I can see is that we might also come up with ideas of content strategies and content flows which we can provide, because we have a couple of core skills, core assets. We are good in sourcing and licensing. We know what content we have, and usually we know it better than anybody else. And so if we are able to look at our content as an asset and think about it, how can this be used and applied for the benefit of the customer, for the brand, and are able to communicate it to them and pitch it to them like that, instead of just giving access. And will there be more content? I think the content has to be more complex and different packaged, not just raw material, let's say more prefabricated, a bit more adopted.
Are you saying closer to kind of to what the end user needs? Right. So you mentioned
because a lot of brands look at the marketing departments or new media departments. They're not running an editorial department, so we need to help them there. And I can see with a couple of brand customers of ours that they're getting unhappy, like, we got it, but yeah, our advertising agency cannot help us, and the digital agency also cannot help us, because they're still much more campaign focused. So what they get the media, they get the sample side, they do an event, they do a contest, they drive fans, and suddenly nothing. And they're really struggling to keep it alive. And they're starting to understand that it's a different thing than a campaign. It's maintaining and running a media at the end of the day.
That kind of sounds to me like the holy grail, almost, of our industry, like the one thing we want to achieve. It's moving from that raw material that you mentioned. With that big objective, which is very important, what's the first step? Where does one start?
Okay, I can only speak about myself, and in that case I'm quite lucky to work with Getty Images. I think they're one of the guys who are digging it, so they're expanding the portfolio. You can see a lot of activity in the editorial segment, which is relevant to a lot of agencies. So I think it's really, let's say, lay back, look at what we have, look at our customers, and look for connections. And then also maybe look for people with different skills, people who can write. So we are able to provide to customers, hey, we can give you the imagery and text, adapt it to your needs. This is something what we are trying now to pitch to a couple of customers. I will know in a few weeks. But this is, I think, things we could offer and try. And it's also about, being willing and able and have the courage to step out of the shade, think out of the box and do something which we never did before, actually.
Okay. For agencies that may want to consider coming to Cannes, you know, move away from the stock photography industry events, and come here and meet, you know, thought leaders and the client side. What would you say the most compelling reason would be to, you know, join you and a few other agencies here?
I think the reason is to understand better our customers. Because we have a problem, and the core of our problem is a change in the behavior of how people consume media. That means there's less attention on print, there's less money, and so there's less money for our pictures. It's that simple. And I have to say that, you know, coming here, and at the same time also with the last years, I started to go to a couple of entertainment media events, like to the MIPs and MIPCOMs. And so I was able to put things together and understand much better our role, because it's good to see, you know, okay, like one big word, it's very much about storytelling. Advertising always used it, but media is about storytelling long term. I think the strength we can deliver is a stability in a continuous supply of content. This is what we are able to do, and which is very atypical also to the thinking of an advertising agency. But back to your question, come here, take a look at it, open your mind, and, you know, grab a bottle of wine and think about what you can do and get inspired.
Okay, so kind of be, as content owners and content generators, be part of the community that uses it?
Be part of the community, talk to them, and really try to understand what they need, what they're doing. And we can find, I believe, that we can find skills which they don't have, which we can provide. But we are not pitching actually at the moment. We are not selling. We are very much to, you know, still to the shoebox with the slides, and we change it for a website and deliver digital. But largely, I think it's very much the same approach actually.
Okay, great. Well, that was very useful, very informative. Thank you very much, and have a good few days more here.
I will enjoy.
Thank you.